What is up, guys? Welcome back to yet another brand new Major Ben Gaming video. I hope you guys are having an awesome day as always. Today we're going to be talking about The Day Before. I believe probably a lot of you have heard about this game, or if you haven't, this is going to be a very interesting one for you. This company has been, well, a scam from the start right through to the end of this project, and to be honest, it's just shocking that this was even allowed to go ahead and wasn't looked into at an earlier date. But anyway, let's get into what's going on with The Day Before. So, The Day Before is was originally shown off as a survival MMO shooting game that completely changed up until launch, but been delayed countless times after countless times, and eventually the game has come out. It is nothing like what they originally showed, and basically, the game had changed entirely. It's even just a terrible extraction shooter with a few zombies running around. It's a disaster. But anyway, there's been an update today, and Steam has officially delisted the game, and refunds are available for every single person. So we're just going to have a look through this article, have a read through everything, and just clarify what is actually going on with this game. So update, Valve has seemingly made the move to delist The Day Before from Steam. While the game's Steam page is still up, you can no longer purchase the game. Those who purchase the game are reporting being able to receive refunds even well beyond the usual 2-hour limit. Okay, so the original story was, basically the game, okay, we kind of discussed that. The game was revealed. Anyway, only 4 days later, developer Fntastic has announced they're closing their doors. This was yesterday. No more updates will be developed for The Day Before, and the future of the game is unknown, although one has to assume it's not exactly bright. Apparently, servers will stay up, at least for the time being. So this is before the new update we've just read. This was yesterday. They announced the closure of Fntastic, and it says, today we announced the closure of Fntastic Studio. Unfortunately, The Day Before has failed financially, and we lack the funds to continue. All income received is being used to pay off debts to our partners. Well, not anymore, because it looks like everybody else is getting a refund. We invested all of our efforts, resources and man hours into the development of The Day Before, which was our first huge game. Now, the funny thing with this statement here is they actually didn't pay a lot of the developers. They used people who basically wanted to develop for fun and did it for just free. They actually didn't pay them anyway. So maybe some of them they did, but a lot of them they just used, they asked people if they would develop free and work on the project in their own time. So I don't know what that's about. We really wanted to release new patches to reveal the full potential of the game, but unfortunately we don't have the funding to continue the work. It's important to note that we didn't take any money from the public during the development of The Day Before. There were no pre-orders or crowdfunding campaigns, so they're kind of reiterating to defend themselves that they didn't take money beforehand, which they didn't. But the fact they still lied about what the finished product was going to be is just terrible. They shouldn't do that. They shouldn't have been allowed to do that. They had sponsors like Nvidia showing like RTX on and RTX off on their game, and ray tracing isn't even in the final game, for example. We worked tirelessly for 5 years, pouring our blood, sweat, and tears into the game. At the moment, the future of The Day Before and Prop Night is unknown, but the servers will remain operational. We apologize if we didn't meet your expectations. You didn't meet anybody's expectations. We did everything within our power, but unfortunately, we miscalculated our capabilities. Creating games is an incredibly challenging endeavor. We're grateful to everyone who supported us during these difficult years, which I would say is probably nobody. So that game has just been an absolute disaster. I don't understand how things were not looked into beforehand with this game. If we just go to the Steam page reviews here for a second, game is shutting down, do not buy. And if we go actually to the page now, as you can see, I'm going to unwishlist it. I actually had it wishlisted from launch because the game looked so cool in the original trailers. Like, even stuff in this game looks nothing like this now. Like, all this driving in the dirt where they showed off in the original trailers is gone. None of the stuff that they show is actually what the game is like. I mean, it's just completely changed. So let's just have a look. So game is shutting down, do not buy. Studio shut down 3 days after release. Omega lol. All positive reviews are bots by the devs. Probably true. Don't buy and report the game for fraud. Yeah, true. It literally is. There's so many people saying this stuff. Product refunded. I hope people are getting their refunds in. This guy should be able to get he's got an early access review anyway, so it doesn't really matter. What did that positive review say there at the bottom? The Day Before lawsuit, super hype for the sequel. yeah, true. Should have put it as a negative, but still true. 31 hours though he's played. Like, man, I mean, just the amount of people who is just like, this is terrible, and I'm so surprised that Valve didn't step in a little bit earlier rather than wait for the company to close. I'm surprised they didn't kind of look into this game and just see what was going on, and actually to communicate with developers a bit and say, look, we've got some, you know, horrible things we're hearing about your game. Can we please have a copy of it or try it or get involved so that we can actually see that you are, you know, not lying to people, because it's just awful. Like, this game is just awful. It's going to go down in history as one of the most interesting events we've probably ever seen, and hopefully it's a lesson for people in the future. I hope a lawsuit does happen to these guys, because they essentially, although they didn't take money before launch, and obviously all pre-orders are going back, they have just kind of lied to the consumer. The company seems to be closing. I mean, they've got other games as well. If you know, they've actually got a few games that are positive, but both these games are just, that one's okay. And obviously, the day before is only 16% of people like the game, and you know, as they probably said, a lot of those people are probably bots. So I don't know. To be honest, this has just been a complete disaster. As you can see, the game is only out on the 7th, and literally 4 days later, or just 5 days later now, the company is closing down, and they're going to keep servers operational for people who are keeping their copies of the game. But yeah, it's just going to be gone. So I will update you if there's anything in the future that kind of actually comes up. I don't think there's going to be much more that we hear now. If there is a lawsuit, I'll do a video on it, because I'll be interested to see what actually happens with that, because I just think these guys, although they didn't technically scam people into paying, they wasted a ton of people's time developing for free. You know, some just the ethical ways behind what they've done. They've lied to the consumer. NVIDIA has actually sponsored them in a video, and they've essentially, you know, shown off things like RTX in their game, which doesn't exist. And I just think that there's something that could happen here. I hope if NVIDIA did give them money to promote that, then I hope NVIDIA sues the crap out of these guys, because this is just ridiculous. And these guys deserve to be punished. Like, I don't like to be mean to people, but for what they've done, they deserve to be seriously punished. Like, to lie to consumers about a game so clearly, and in their apology post, as we just read, they say that they overstepped the line and things were harder. Development for a game is harder than we realized. Well, you would have realized a few days before launch that you shouldn't have launched the game in the state it is. So I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in future videos, guys. I'm leaving that in because it's funny. Bye-bye for now. Have a good one, man.